relationships. My name is Angela Patarreal, and we have another letter. We have another letter from one of our good sisters who is going through something with her man. And I'm going to tell you something. This is nothing new under the sun. It's nothing that we have not heard about or discussed ever before. The only thing different is the person that it is happening to. Okay? Same shit, different day. Just let me warn you about this. But our good sister's going through it. And let me tell you something. It breaks my heart because no woman deserves this amount of deception and betrayal, but it happens. So let's just get into this letter, shall we? So our sister writes us and says, my husband had a 2-year affair. He moved our entire family to the town his mistress lives in to be with her, which is 1 hour away. Sold our house, which forced us to rent in this terrible housing crisis. Promised to marry her. Changed his job with a $10,000 pay cut. Then moved out and bought his own car to be with her. I told his family, his new job, his old job, and the kids what he did. I feel awful, but it did make him choose me and come back to our family. Finally. He hasn't been the same, but blames it on the new antidepressants that he's on. That's medication. Will we ever work it out? He treated me so badly. Like I was nothing. I love him and can't have a life without him after 20 years. Does he still love her? Will he always? Please help. There's a lot going on in this letter. So if you're just now tuning in, let me try to give you my little summary about this letter or recap. We got a man who was married and been with his wife for 20 years, met a woman, we don't know where, our good sister doesn't tell us where, but this man, this husband went through great lengths to be with his mistress. What he did was he moved his family, uprooted them, okay, a whole hour away, sold the family home, okay, took a $10,000 pay cut at his job to be with his mistress. Once he got his wife and the family there situated an hour away in the same city as the mistress, he then ups and leaves our good sister to go and be with the mistress. Our good sister says, I told everybody about it. The family, the kids, the old and the new job. So, after our good sis told everyone what her husband had done, right? That motivates him to come back to her. According to the letter, she says, finally he comes back. So since he's been back with our good sister, the husband has returned home to her. This man has been on medication. Okay, he's on antidepressants. She said he hasn't been the same. Now she has questions about, does he still love the other woman? Will their marriage ever work out? Will he ever be the same? She has so many questions, and those are valid questions, mind you. And she wants our help. Well, she wants my help. Listen, sis, no one can blame you for wanting to save your marriage. Nobody can blame you for wanting to fight for your marriage. Nobody can blame you for going after the man that you loved and trying to make sense of what he has done. No one can blame you. There's no judgment here. We all have a story. Even I am a woman with a story. Okay, I'm not above any of that. But let me tell you something. The lengths that your man, your husband went to and through to be with that woman, all at the expense, okay, of your family, your livelihood, and your lifestyle, says to me that your husband fell in love with another woman. There's no easy way to say this. Your husband fell in love and appears to be, from what you wrote in the letter, in love with that woman. Yes. Okay? He came back to you. Yes. He left her to come back home to you. But your question is, does he still love her? My response is going to be, just like you still love him, it saddens me to tell you, it saddens me to tell you that just like you still love him, I believe that he's still in love with her. Because why else would your husband have to be on antidepressants after leaving that woman and coming back home to you? Okay? Yes, he may be there with you, but it seems like his heart and where he really wants to be is over there with that other woman. And I know it hurts to hear that. But you have to face the fact that he made a choice. He made a choice to deceive you, to betray you, to risk it all financially, to go over there and be with her. You know, in the letter you stated that you told his family, basically you told you guys' inner circle what he had done. You told the new job what had happened. You told the old job, people at the old job, what he had done to you. You outed him to the family and the children. And I understand that you did that out of hurt, probably desperation. You were desperate to jolt him back into reality, to make him come back to you, right? I guess in an effort to embarrass him or to make him feel guilty for the level of betrayal and deception that he placed upon you, right? I get it. I get it. You know, wanting vengeance, wanting to, do anything to make him realize what he has done and to come back to his senses. But my sister, in my humble opinion, he made a choice. He really did. He chose her. He chose her. And there's no shame in that. Let me be very, very clear. There's no shame in that. He chose her. You manipulated him and the situation to come back to you. And that's not where he wants to be. And I think you know that. I think you know that because you have acknowledged that he has not been the same since you brought this man back into your home. Your husband. Okay? Spiritually and legally, your husband. But his heart and where he wants to be is over there with that other woman. And you've heard this before. I've said this before. And many people have said it and heard it and spoke it themselves. Sometimes you have to go and allow people to go and be with the people or the person that they are breaking your heart behind. You are losing peace behind this man. You are losing sleep. I know you are behind this man and what he's doing. It is breaking your heart that he chose another while he was committed or was supposed to have been committed to you. I get it. I understand it. Lived it. Have been there before, my sister. Survived it. Thriving behind it, okay? Because there's life after the betrayal. There's life after deception. There is life after a loser. Trust me. Know it. Lived it. Been there. Bounced back from it. Got a testimony. And I'm here to tell you it can be done. Once you accept the fact that you were betrayed, you were deceived, he went through great lengths to be with this woman, and you can come to terms with that and start letting it go, you'll start to feel better, and then you'll start making plans for the rest of your life. My good sister, and I know I'm going to offend some people when I say this, but I'm going to say it. I feel that you are in for a world of hurt. Because that man didn't come back to you on his own. That man came back to you under manipulation, probably shame and embarrassment, and he had a lot of different people that was now in his business, knowing what he had done, and in his ear. It wasn't on his own accord. It was through manipulation and people influencing him, right? And talking him into coming back home to you, which that's the right thing to do anyway. He should have never left. But why would you want a man back that left you for another woman? This man, your husband, your man, sold your family home, okay? to go and live in a city an hour away that his mistress lives in, took a $10,000 pay cut to get a job in that same city just to be with her. Once he got you guys out there, that wasn't even good enough. He couldn't even just be near her. He needed to go move in with her. Do you really want to live your life, the rest of your life, in doubt, feeling insecure about the relationship, not being confident that, number one, the affair is over, that nothing exists between the two of them, that he's going to remain faithful and committed, that he has learned his lesson from this act of betrayal and infidelity, adultery that he's committed against the marriage in you? Do you really want to live your life like that? I'm not judging. I'm asking you to really think about what you're doing, because what you're doing, this situation, he brought it upon himself. I don't feel bad for that bastard, but this situation has driven this man to take an antidepressants just to be in the home with you. Sister, you deserve better than that. You shouldn't have to go through that. He shouldn't have never got involved with this woman to begin with, but you got to let that man go. You want a person to choose you because they love you and because this is what they want to do, because this is the commitment that they made to you, because they are honoring the covenant, because they made a promise to you and they're going to keep it. A man of integrity is what you want, right? Not somebody you got to force, okay, and hold things over their head and pull strings and pull teeth just to stay in the same house with you, let alone the marriage. This is not the way to go. I do believe in the institution of marriage. I believe that marriage is a holy covenant. Had you written me, or I received this letter 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my response would have been somewhat different. I would have encouraged you to fight for your marriage. I would have told you to keep praying about it, keep standing for your marriage, and a lot of different other things. But my heart posture has changed because, you know, even the Bible admonishes us, if we were to take the faith route with this, that if the unbeliever wants to go, then they are free to go. And, you know, I also know that, you know, the God that I serve allows us to have free will. We have a choice in what we want to do, you know, even serve him. He doesn't force us to love him or serve him. And he will not, you know, force another human being to love you, respect you, stay with you, do right by you. That's not what he's going to do. Of course, there are consequences to bad behavior. There are consequences to disobeying, what am I trying to say? To disobeying, the word of God. There are consequences. The Bible tells us that, you will reap what you sow. However, we all have free will. We all have a choice. Your husband made his. And I think you are standing in his way of being with that woman. He's going to get what's going to come to him. But I want you to get what you need to, what am I trying to say? I'm getting tongue-tied. I want you to get and to receive what is due to you, which is justice, happiness, a peace of mind, a better life, a better husband, better treatment, a smile on your face, being able to exist in a marriage and or a relationship without infidelity or adultery being a part of the equation. You deserve so much better than the treatment that you are getting. And anybody that encourages you to fight for this bull crap is leading you down a world of hurt. That's all I got to say. Lived it, been there, done that. You can't force people to stay with you. You can't force people to honor covenants. You can't force people to do right by you in a marriage. You can pray about it, and I'm going to encourage you to pray about it. I'm going to encourage you, to talk to God about your husband, your marriage, or whatever, and allow this thing, to play out in his timing and let God have his way in your marriage. But your husband ultimately did commit adultery. He chose another. What I would like for you to do is to be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. Any woman probably would have done what you've done. I mean, I certainly have been there before. You do things, in an attempt to salvage your marriage and your family, woman to woman. I know I've been there before, but let me tell you something. Fighting for a person that wants to leave is a waste of time. I'm telling you, fighting for a person that does not want to stay, does not want to love you, has fallen in love with someone else, it's a painful thing trying to fight for that thing. The best thing you could do, I wish I would have known when I was going through with, the situation that I was going through that is kind of similar to yours. I wish I would not have wasted so much time praying over something that was dead, praying over something that God had said, you know what, you don't have to put up with it. I have something better for you. And he did. I wish that I would have found the courage to love myself enough to know that I shouldn't have even been in a situation like that. That, once that person showed me, and or like you, once a person shows you who they are, what they want, and who they want to be with, you have to find the courage to let that person go. You really do. You have to let that person go, the expectation, any expectations that you have, dreams and all of that. And that's one of the hardest things to do, especially when you want your marriage. If there are feelings still there, you've been blindsided by the betrayal. Honey, that's a recipe for the deepest hole in your heart, and the biggest void to be created in your soul. I know what that's like, but let me tell you something. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, is to learn how to let it go. He chose that other woman, and I'm telling you to respond to your question. Does he still love her? Yes, I think so. Just like you still love him. And that man is taking antidepressants just to be able to coexist with you in your home is a bad sign. You can do whatever you want to do. I would still encourage you to pray. I would encourage you to start seeking therapy and some counseling, because that never hurt no one. But I would encourage you to start finding ways to let this situation go, because it's not going to help you. It's going to continue to hurt you, because his heart is somewhere else. You got to think about everything he did to be with this woman while he was with you, with no consideration to your covenant. Recap, and just to kind of circle back, if you're just now tuning in, our good sister found out that her husband had a 2-year affair, and he went through great lengths to be with this woman. He moved his wife, our good sister, the whole family, an hour away just to live in the city where the mistress lived. This man took a $10,000 pay cut from his job, okay, just so he could be near that mistress. And once he got his whole family to the city, moved everybody to the city where his mistress lived to be near her, that wasn't even good enough. He needed to be with her. He moved out, left our good sister and moved in with the mistress. Our good sister, in a desperate plea and in an attempt to save her man, her marriage, her family, keep it all together. She went and got other people involved in the marriage. She told the family, the friends, people at the new job, people at the old job, everybody was probably popping in his ear, convinced him and or manipulated him to come back home to her, which I think was a big mistake, because he chose another woman. He ended up back in the house with our good sister. Now our good sister is wondering, is he still in love with that other woman? Yes, of course he is. Why is he taking antidepressant? He wasn't depressed before, but he's depressed now. He's somewhere he does not want to be. And his misery has our good sister concerned, confused, feeling insecure, unstable in her marriage, asking questions, okay? Things are not as they should be. And I'm telling our good sister, let that man go. That man has made his choice. As painful as it may be, she deserves better. She deserves better. All of us women, or you know what? Any person that has experienced betrayal in a relationship knows what it feels like to be blindsided by it, or if you saw it coming and you were steady fighting and praying for it. Sometimes, most of the time, the best thing you can do is let a person go. Let them go. Move on with your life. Praying a person back into your life who does not see that they are in the wrong, has no remorse. You know, they really want to be where they are and they are willing to suffer the consequences behind it. You got to let that person go, because they're willing to do any and everything to be with that person, which is the situation in the case of our good sister and the man that she's married to. I hope that peace finds you. I hope that a better life and a better marriage and a better relationship and situation finds you. And I hope that when you get it, you'll look back at this and you'll say, thank God I let it go. This has been Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is Angela Potareal, and until the next time, the diva has spoken. Toodles.
Hey, go ahead, Infinite.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.